Hello, fighters, rogues, and bards alike. You might remember me as Vil, the Elf Ranger, and my fellow compatriots here on screen. Last week, our fellow soon to be Knights of Prospect escaped from jail with the help of halfling thief Portia Thorngage, who has since become our good friend and showrunner. You may see her joining us in the comments today, and you can too. Just log on to Twitch or Facebook and join us in the comments as yourself or as a fantasy character, and you might play a little role in our story today. Game Master, take it away.
All right, everyone. So as Vil mentioned, those of you that were in jail have now escaped and have a new friend. But today is a very different day from spending it in jail. Because Winnie and Ronaldo, you are at a party. So what first I have to ask is, what is this party for?
Well, it's kind of a secret. It's a party that's only for the best bards in the town, and so Ronaldo is my plus one.
That's what's funny is because Winnie thinks that she was invited, but I was invited, so Winnie is my plus one, which is a common misconception. It is a very exclusive party for only the highest of bards. But that's fine. She can think what she wants.
I will not comment on your delusions, Ronaldo.
It's okay. I won't comment on yours either.
So the party itself is really that on a grander scale. There are this kind of oscillating group of friends and rivals of the bardic profession. And Ronaldo, you and you, Winnie, are both bards. You both share a calling. You both share that same access to bardic magics and great bardic lores. But you're very, very different people. And so too are all of the bards assembled here at this. It's a collection of all the bards of Tower Town, all the working bards and the bards attached to noble houses. What is this called? Does it have a name?
It's called the Singers of Songs.
Yep. Nailed it.
The Singers of Songs. So it is very, very exclusive without a doubt. And it's interesting because the people here, there is plenty of song and plenty of kind of bardic music and bardic tales, and there is a stage in here. It actually, let's go a little further. Where does it take place?
So it's an old warehouse, actually. It used to manufacture loots. And it briefly, for a couple years, traded hands and was run by a traveling circus family. So there's an interesting arrangement of circus paraphernalia and also like wooden instruments.
And from the outside, it does just look like a very plain factory. It doesn't look at any remarkable at all. You have to know that there's an exclusive party happening here to actually know where it is. And
Which I did.
Which I also did. And the minute you open it and you invite your plus one, like I did Winnie, you notice that it is much more extravagant on the inside than the out.
It is, as you both said, one of a dozen identical kind of long stone warehouses built down on the docks of Tower Town, where you all are. And it's interesting because Tower Town, like all of the Riverlands, is a place where history layers upon history. This is an incredibly ancient land. And Tower Town predates human civilization on the continent. This part of the continent was occupied originally by elves who built the tower that gives Tower Town its name. So this warehouse was obviously of human construction sometime in the last 100 years, but due to its kind of long and winding route to the present, it is now the home of old wooden instruments, amazing circus artifacts, and some of the finest bards of the Riverlands. There is a stage set up in here, as mentioned, which means there's plenty of music, but a lot of it isn't for non-musicians. There's incredibly technically proficient magic and song happening here, because you're not trying to do it for a large audience. You are playing unbelievably complicated stuff infused with all sorts of bardic magics for the people in the know, of which you all are. The MC of the evening is what is the MC's name?
Oh, I mean, I know the name, Winnie. I'm actually very close.
At the same time, then?
Let's say it at the same time, because we both know the name, I feel
yes.
like. It's Kramus.
Kramus.
Yeah. The very famous songwriter and storyteller, as we all know.
Famous Kramus, as she is called, is a bard that elvish, and so like most elvish bards, it's kind of hard to figure out her age. She is somewhere between 20 and 300. But she commands the room as someone that has been in the bardic arts for a very, very long time. And so she's been kind of bringing up, groups of bards, offering challenges to the crowd, and bards respond by coming up on stage for poetry and music. Though this party is incredibly exclusive, Vil and Chauncey, you are also both there because you both heard there's a party, and Ronaldo and Winnie would be there. And so the two of you are actually the three of you, Vil, because you have your business partner and Duck with you. So the three of you are, all there enjoying, enjoying the music and the camaraderie. So, yeah, Vil, you, Chauncey, and Hobie the Duck are all in kind of a little cluster watching the performances and chatting.
Hobie, isn't this a good song? Hobie, teach me a duck dance. I want to dance like Hobie.
Hobie, what do you think? I'll watch your back. If anyone gives you trouble, I'll see it. Hobie can do a dance. I'm going to keep an eye out. Some people don't like duck feet on the floor, and I don't know what that's about, but I'll keep an eye out in case anybody gives him trouble.
Hobie hops out of his sling, which Vil wears and carries him in, and Hobie kind of gets on the ground and begins, what could best be described as a very simple two-step, but Hobie kind of moves in and then moves out. Chauncey making a lot of eye contact with you, expecting you maybe to dance along.
Wah. Wah. Hold high five, Hobie. It was a good dance.
A hush falls over the room. Mercifully, not because of Hobie and his dancing with the wizard Chauncey, but because one of the Knights of Prospect has walked into this warehouse. Now, you all, of course, are aspirants to join the Knights of Prospect. You are prospective Knights of Prospect. But an actual, honest-to-goodness Knight of Prospect from their chapter house of Etama has made the long walk from the hills outside of Tower Town down to the docks. Now, all of you know a couple of the Knights of Prospect. You all met Thudmeric a couple of sessions ago. She's known as the Pillar of Empire, the great Vorish soldier who wields a mighty spear and has killed countless orcs defending humanity and the known world. But this is not Thudmeric. This is another of the Knights of Prospect. So I want you all to just go around, give this knight a name, and then describe who they are and what they do.
Oh my gosh! It's Flumtuber! Flumtuber is here!
Oh my gosh. Flumtuber's the highest ranking bard in the Knights of Prospect.
Why are you guys using Flumtuber's informal name? You are not within his closest circles.
I'm in his closest circle, Winnie.
Sometimes when I talk about him, I just call him Flumtubes!
Flumtuber walks in wearing... Well, Flumtuber certainly commands a room. That is for sure.
Wow.
He walks in with a kind of a gold and purple cloak over his left shoulder, wearing. But that's probably the most ostentatious thing about him. He's at any given point dressed in comfortable, kind of effective clothes. What is Flumtuber's instrument?
Oh, gosh. The bongos.
So Flumtuber, slung on his right hip, is an incredibly impressive pair of dwarven-made war drums, shrank down to the size of bongos.
I've heard that Flumtuber's war drums can turn into a hammer at any moment.
I hear sometimes they don't even need to. It just feels like a hammer.
Just hit those bongos hard enough and just smack you across the face with the vibrations.
I've heard that when he plays them, you can hear the vibrations across the riverlands, even from the tallest mountain.
Once I was holding some berries, and they just broke apart in my hand, and it felt like my friend said it was probably Flumtuber playing the drums miles away.
What kind of berries?
Purple berries?
Yeah, those are very delicate berries.
Yes.
I would like to go up to Sir Flumtuber and ask if he would like a drink or an appetizer or anything, really anything. I'd love to assist.
Don't mess up. Don't mess up, Winnie. That would be terrible if you messed up.
So Flumtuber is one of two of the famed bards of the Knights of Prospect, the other being songstress Illyria. But Flumtuber is known more for, whereas songstress Illyria is kind of a battle bard. Flumtuber is something of a traveling diplomat who has certainly gotten a scrap or two before. So he carries himself with an easy confidence, and at the moment is all by himself. You would think that in this collection of bards of Tower Town, that Flumtuber, the famed bard of the Knights of Prospect, would be mobbed with people. But he is instead just standing in the back, surveying the evening's festivities when, Winnie, you approach him.
Hello. It is very nice to make your acquaintance, Flumtuber, is it? Or, I'm sorry if that's too informal.
I just put like a very small wind to just blow Winnie's hair as she begins to speak to him.
I was wondering, sir, stoic, quiet, sir, could I get you anything?
Well, since you asked, Winnie, there is something that I do need.
He knows my name.
I get a little excited and make the wind blow a little too hard for a second.
And I know that there is Chauncey of the Arcane College standing next to Vil, and that's Ronaldo in the distance having some sort of argument with another bard. I know all four of you. You're knight aspirants of our humble order.
Yes. So you have something for us? I'm sure we'd be happy to do anything that you want or need us to do. It would be my pleasure. Our pleasure. But my pleasure, mostly.
Well, I certainly appreciate the enthusiasm. It is a matter of import to the Knights, and something that I think you four are uniquely qualified to help me with. Now, here it is. And at that moment, the MC is on stage and says, "If I could ask, we have time for one song before another round of refreshments. Could Ronaldo and Winnie please take the stage and impress us with their technical proficiency?"
Go do it.
Of course.
I walk up with an air of overconfidence there.
I walk very quickly to catch up with Ronaldo.
I try and stand up straighter than I've ever standed before.
I switch my wind over to making Ronaldo's mustache just below a little bit.
I stand in front of Ronaldo and say, "Thank you, everyone, for coming. It is our pleasure to perform."
But mostly my pleasure.
But our both shared equal, slightly leaning towards my pleasure to perform for all of you tonight.
An original song which I created.
In collaboration with myself. So we are more than happy to share it with you, Ronaldo. Your creation, what is the title of our song?
Oh, it's called The Hymn of Enteresh.
The Hymn of Enteresh.
I created it for the church, which is a big deal. It was a big commission.
Yes, I will start with the leading note, and you will carry the first verse, shall we?
Hobie, let's do our dance to their song.
I'll set Hobie down on the floor, and I'm going to go stand near the stage and keep an eye on the crowd.
And 1,
And
2, 3.
Enteresh, you are so big. Take it away, Winnie.
Oh, Enteresh, you are who we wish to be. Ronaldo.
Oh, Enteresh, you are who we wish to be beyond ourselves.
Beyond ourselves, oh, Enteresh.
And then I take out my mandolin and I just start soloing hardcore, just really trying to upstage Winnie as much as I can.
And I
use light to light both of them up.
Ronaldo and Winnie each roll 2d6 plus charisma. This is going to be a musical performance, and let's see how you do.
6.
10.
Now, as a reminder to those who have not played Dungeon World before, this is being run in the Dungeon World system. You roll two 6-sided die, plus you add a modifier to it based on your skill. A 10 plus is a full success. A 7 to 9 is a success with a complication, and a 6 or less is a failure. Now, Winnie, you are essentially, you're not calling forth your magics. This is just a song, but you kind of get the lay of the room and realize that there's enough kind of magic crackling in the crowd that you can kind of draw it up kind of into yourself and project it out with your voice, and a kind of a wave of calm and awe settles over the crowd. Ronaldo, you play a technically proficient mandolin, but there's something about it that seems off to you. And Vil, because you're standing and kind of watching the crowd, you kind of realize what that is. And that's
better.
That's Flumtuber is standing in the back with his arms crossed and his eyes narrowed as if he's thinking through something.
hold on, I gotta just retune this.
Of course.
Oh, one snapped. 1 second. I'm sorry.
Awkward, right, Hobie?
During the break in the music, I would like to go ask Hobie what he thinks of Flumtuber. He's hard to read, I know. Well, if anyone could tell, it would be you. So you think so? You're hiding something? I'll keep an eye.
Your impromptu performance ends before you get to the third verse. You know, kind of the silence of Ronaldo kind of re-stringing his mandolin leads to a bit of awkwardness that is eventually taken over when Flumtuber in the back starts clapping, and then everyone else does as well. And
Winnie, I wasn't done. I wasn't.
Oh, you weren't? Oh,
I bow
my
deeply. I bow
apologies.
deeply.
I bow in front of him.
Ronaldo, it's okay that your part got awkward.
Don't yell that in the crowd, Chauncey.
I don't care much for music anyway.
Flumtuber walks,
You're welcome.
you know, kind of across the back of the room into some kind of office or workshop attached to this big open warehouse, and waits there for all of you. You eventually join him, and he just kind of stands leaning against the wall as you all enter. Even at casual rest, he cuts quite a figure. He is every part the famous bard. And Ronaldo, Winnie, you are aware of this, you know, in a way that other professions are not, is that your fame and the strength of your magic kind of go hand in hand. It puts a magnifying glass to what you do. And there's an element of, I mean, the way to describe the magic of it is glamour. There is a glamour that you are able to tap into when you achieve fame. And Flumtuber has that. And so he exudes it even when he doesn't want to. He brings all of you in, and Chauncey, you kind of close the door behind all of you. I need your help, all four of you. I am to mediate a dispute. I was asked for specifically, but when I learned more about the dispute, I realized I needed some assistance. At least I think I will, anyway.
A dispute between who?
Between two noble families of Tower Town.
Oh, boy.
The Vurak family and the Igwe family.
Oh, boy.
Yes,
Bunch of
Ronaldo.
stubborn jerks.
Yes. So Ronaldo, your particular family and your rival family, the Leclercs, are both wealthy, noble families. The McKay family is a wealthy family, but then there's the Vuraks and the Igwes. They have astonishing wealth. They are arguably the two wealthiest families in Tower Town. The Master Bard kind of pauses, Ronaldo, and looks at you expectantly.
I mean, I've mediated several noble disputes before. I've ruined a few, which I was paid to do on purpose, though. Yes, I feel like I'm more than qualified to help you. I mean, those two families, they've been at each other's throats for thousands of years, it could seem. All over just a simple misunderstanding.
This misunderstanding, because that's what I think it is in particular, is over an artifact that Arnold Vurak sold to Dola Igwe. What do you know about the families, Ronaldo? What could you tell me about the Vuraks and the Igwes?
Well, the Vuraks, as they have acquired their wealth all through the complicated system that is known as banking. It's all math. I don't know. I didn't pay attention to math during academy, but they seem to make money by people giving them money, which is I don't know. I was just born with money. The other family, they are honestly traders. They trade specifically in the spice trade, a very, very, very honestly, just kind of the same way how a lot of people save their money. They buy spices; those spices retain value. They're kind of doing the same thing in a different angle, and one of them thinks they're better than the other. Well, they both think they're better than the other one. But
Between banking and spice trade, it's no wonder that they both have the money to engage in, well, what they're engaging in.
What are they engaging in?
The sale of a magical artifact.
Hello.
Which is why I'm very glad you're here, Chauncey. The Vurak family sold something that they call the Circlet of the Future to Dola.
that sounds fun.
I don't like the sound of it.
Oh, it sounds great.
Apparently, Arnold Vurak demonstrated the power of the Circlet of the Future. Dola Igwe, sufficiently satisfied, agreed to pay a sum for it. The exchange was made, and now Dola, according to her, has been unable to tap into its power since the time of the purchase.
Huh.
They're bringing me in to mediate tomorrow, but neither of them wants to have the mediation at the other person's home.
Oh, boy.
They would prefer a place that is quiet, free from prying eyes, and frankly, safe and in nature, that no magical intervention is possible. Which, Bill, is why I asked you to be here as well. If there is any spot out in the wilderness that is, well, as magic-proof as could be, you would know it.
I know all the spots in the woods. I'm also the best shot in the Riverlands. Did they tell you that too?
Thud Merrick mentioned it specifically. And I believe her. In martial matters, Thud Merrick is the best. And if she bestows that kind of compliment on you and Hobie, I believe your partner's name is?
That's right.
Then I tend to believe her. So, Vil, I suppose I'll start with you. Where should they meet tomorrow? Rather, where should we all meet tomorrow?
East of the Everygate River, there's an old tower ruin in the center of that. That's as magic-proof as you're going to get around here.
Perfect. I'll relay it along. We're going to meet there with the noon sun overhead. I have not heard of the Circlet of the Future. I was hoping between all of you, you would have some sense of it that you could bring to the mediation tomorrow. I know that the Circlet will be presented there, so I and all of you will have time to inspect it, but any further information you could bring would certainly help the proceedings.
I think I know an old song or poem about it. But,
Yeah. I mean, like, probably first thing that comes to mind for me from, I know we probably don't want to go to the library to do this. That's the first place that came to mind, but I think Phil's place sounds cool too, but it would be cool to go to the library. But anyway, it probably doesn't actually like control like time in the future and stuff like that. Cause like then I don't know, it would probably be like a bigger deal. Like that stuff like that is like stuff that you write books about, and there's like war and stuff over. There's probably something to do with like whoever's using it can do something and make it look like you're controlling the future, but it's really just something that you're doing.
I think it if I'm remembering the song correctly, it's within the circlet. The thoughts or imagination or idea that someone has in their head, when they take it off, they can present it to someone else as though it were a vision or a prophecy.
Wow.
Oh, so this is
So
this is an artifact that you can potentially deceive someone with then.
it's like a parlor trick.
Maybe, if my song's correct.
I defer to all of you. This is certainly not my area of expertise. But I will leave you to your research overnight, and I will see you before noon at the place of Ville's choosing.
Do you know how to get there?
I will ask the Merrick, and I will see you there. And thank you for your help. I and the rest of the knights appreciate it.
Of course. And Flumtuber, if in the future you ever want to have some sort of duet or accompaniment with your drums, I am more than happy. I have a lot of experience performing with a variety of talents.
Suck up.
Yeah, and if you, I don't know if you ever wanted to do like, I don't know, do like a bongo and like magic show duo too, where you're not busy with Winnie or whatever. I could do that too.
Chauncey and Winnie, I want each of you to just roll 2d6 plus your wisdom. You're just going to try to get a cold read on Flumtuber.
10.
7.
Winnie, you get a bit of a sense of it, just a kind of a shadow that moves in front of his eyes. A sense that he is trying to figure out the right way to not make you all feel bad for overstepping. Chauncey, you just see this incredibly impressive adult, and he looks at you and makes meaningful eye contact and nods to you. And Winnie, you kind of see that shadow for a second, but it's gone in an instant. And minutes later, you're not even going to be sure if it was even there. But he looks at all of you and says, I appreciate your enthusiasm in this matter and in all matters. One of the things that I notice most about aspirant knights is that they are willing to please but not put in the work. You are all very willing to put in the work.
I'm only willing to put in the work.
I grab his hand to shake it vigorously.
He returns a handshake so impressive you will be telling people about it for years.
Flumtuber, it's been lovely seeing you once again, and I just hope that we meet tomorrow safely.
That is my hope as well.
I withdraw and act somewhat aloof for the rest of the evening, not wanting to push his boundaries.
Boundaries are not pushed any further. All of you spend a little bit more time at the party before eventually leaving for what is going to be essentially a night of legal and or magical research.
On the way out, I just screamed loud enough for him to hear, I'm never going to wash his hand again!
Nor should you. A handshake that magical deserves preservation. So, what we're going to do is you're all going to have time to do something that will kind of inform your engagement tomorrow. You can do these things together. You can all split up and do things on your own. But you all have the resources available to you as, obviously as adventurers and bards and wizards and rangers. But here's what you know. As a reminder when you decide to get more information or do more research, which is the artifact is called the Circlet of the Future. There is potentially a song written about it. It was sold by Arnold Vurak to Dola Igwe after a successful demonstration of its power. But now Dola Igwe does not believe it works anymore. You are meeting tomorrow in a clearing in the woods near an old tower. The nature of that place suppresses or makes it more difficult for magic to happen. So that's what you know right now. So what do each of you want to do?
I would like to go to a tavern because I just humiliated myself in front of most of the most impressive bards in all of the Riverlands. But also, I would like to chat up some of the tables of gambling there if they've heard about the unique perspectives of each family. What does, we know the nature of the argument, but we don't know if why one feels one was being wronged, if there's a little bit more to it than we originally thought.
Absolutely.
Ronaldo, which tavern are you going to?
The Singing Bull. It's kind of it's a upper crusty place. They'll be able to they love gossiping about each other, those nobles. So I figured it's the best place to go.
I know it. I'll join you.
Oh, perfect. Great. Let's have a night of drinks and gambling and researching, of course.
I want to figure out where Dola Igwe lives. And I would like to just kind of scope out the outside of her house. I'm not very stealthy, but yeah, I'm kind of interested to see if there's any goings on there that are suspicious.
Of course. Chauncey?
I am starting to walk to the library to do research, but it's taken a while. Every person I pass in the street or in the academy, I stop them to tell them, yeah, I don't. It's like we're not best. Me and Flumtuber aren't best friends, but he respects me a lot. I think that we're gonna do some work together if you like songs or magic. So watch out for me later.
We'll start there, Chauncey. Your best friend, Drone, is, everyone, kind of like, because you're walking through the arcane college and it's, there are people of all ages there, but everyone knows who Flumtuber is as a famous bard and member of the Knights of Prospect. So whether or not people believe you is up for debate. But your best friend, Drone, definitely does. So wait, is he your new best friend?
Drone, you're still my best friend, but he's my cool friend.
Well, I can't compete on cool. I know that much.
Well, you're cool in different way. He's cool and he's very capable and can do stuff and is renowned, and you're cool because we can hang out and talk.
Tell me 3 reasons why I'm cool.
This is Drone. One of the reasons you're cool is because you always ask these super awkward questions. That's pretty unique about you. A second reason is, no matter how many times I mess up a spell on you, you don't get mad. And the third reason is, because, you know more about magical lizards than anyone, and I think magical lizards are awesome, just like you.
Okay, I accept those answers. Come on, we've got a night of research to do.
Okay.
And the two of you wander into the library. Let's switch to Ronaldo and Vil. So you go to the Singing Bull. And it is, as it always is, loud, boisterous, popular, and absolutely full of people that have too much money and need to get rid of it.
I'm looking around for my friend Skarg. He lives a few doors down. He's a blacksmith, and he's usually out this time of night.
Skarg is here working his way through a truly mighty pile of beef stew.
Skarg?
Vil, good to see you.
Likewise. I'm sorry to interrupt your stew.
Oh, it's fine. It'll be here when I'm done talking to my friend. What's up?
I need a quick favor.
Of course.
I know the shop is closed this time of night, but I'm going to need a weapon. It's kind of an emergency.
Of course. Well, the forge is always on, and I certainly have weapons on the shelf. What do you need?
I need a weapon that's suitable for an unskilled child.
All right. Will you be here in a few minutes?
Sure will.
I'll be right back.
I'll buy you a round.
Ah, another round of stew. I'm hungry this evening. I'll see you in a few. Ronaldo, you are sitting at a table, and because you don't want to spend that much, but there are large stacks of money on the table and cards are being dealt.
I'm very tempted to spend a lot, but I don't want to spend a lot.
No one wants to spend a lot. Yeah. So what do you want to know?
I'd like to know about the perspectives of each family. The family who sold the artifact, why they feel like they're being wronged. Do they feel like the other family is lying? Do they feel like they're being scammed, or is this just all part of an elaborate plot? And does the other family feel similarly? Does the other family feel like they've just been scammed? That was kind of my impression, but I want to know if there's a little bit more meat to hear. What's the emotional truth between these two families? You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. Now, you are sitting at the exact right table for this. The Singing Bull is a very popular spot for gamblers, like gamblers from well-to-do families that have a little more money than they necessarily need. So I'm going to have you roll 2d6 plus your charisma. You're going to try to glean all of this through conversation.
Gentlemen,
I'm going to give you a +1 if you do start gambling very heavily.
Gentlemen, ladies, all kinds of people around the table, please let me show you this excellent game that I know. It's called the King of Spades. People don't actually ever know this game. It's a great gambling game, though.
Well, color us interested. Yes, a ton of interested. I once met a king. No, you didn't. And so on and so forth as the cards are dealt.
I rolled a 8, and if you give me a +1, a 9.
All right. You can ask one question about each family, and it will be answered truthfully, or at least as truthfully as kind of the public perception is of both. So, again, you have the Vurak family that sold the artifact, the Igwe family that bought it. So what question do you have about each family?
Is the Vurak family the kind of family that would scam another family? Is this something that... Are they sort of... They have a reputation, sure, as every noble family does, but do they have a seedy reputation of trying to root other people out in unsavory ways?
The Vurak family does not. The fact that they are a banking family, the only reason why they could do that kind of work is because they have an absolutely impeachable reputation. In fact, their coat of arms say, it's this beautiful coat of arms of grain on a green field, and in Old Elvish it says respect and honesty.
So stuffy, I know. So stuffy. And the Ignu family, Igwe family, thank you. Are they ones to deceive, perhaps play victim to try and get an upper hand on a rival, and sort of manipulate their rival's reputation in such a way?
So the Igwe family, kind of the story there is that the last couple of... so the Igwe family, they don't necessarily own a trading fleet, but what they do is they are constantly essentially trading in futures. They're investing in spices coming from faraway places before they even get here. And the last 2 seasons have apparently been fairly disastrous for them.
Interesting.
Essentially, they made a number of bad bets. And they're by no means bankrupt. They still have a sum massive enough to buy a small army. But the fact is they just did not make the money they were expecting for 2 full seasons.
And that's going to hurt their reputation. So maybe they're trying to pull a fast one on their rivals. Interesting.
Yeah, and that's Ronaldo. What kind of you were parsing out? Because the first thing that people say, and your people are following the king around as it moves from hand to hand, and
Look closely, gentlemen. Look closely. It's somewhere here.
I see it, and I will bet a fortune on it. And as the Igwes come up, people start talking about the fact that their failures over the past couple of seasons may be some character flaw, and so people start kind of seizing on that. You, Ronaldo, know that it is pure random chance, and someone making a bad decision is not a character flaw, and so you kind of weave past that a little.
However, they probably, if I remember correctly, don't like to hedge their bets. They bet all in every time.
Speaking of, chum, I am all in right now.
That's the wrong decision you wanted to make, friend, because look, here it is. Ha! I had it the whole time. I'm so sorry.
And
I will just take all of this.
And you do. And Ronaldo, you as a gambler, the rush of joy that you normally feel, or that you would have felt in past years from a good night of gambling, is a bit muted by the fact that most of this money is owed to other people.
Well, I'm gonna... this round's on me. Maybe I should make this money disappear. Hey!
Vil, you are in the back, and your friend the blacksmith does indeed arrive again. And he presents to you wrapped in a cloth, a very odd-looking metal sword. Blunted on all sides. This is a training sword, but it's made out of metal instead of wood.
This'll do. Thank you very much.
I'm not going to ask what you're planning, but I hope to hear an interesting story the next time we see each other.
I always have one. And how much do I owe you, Skarg?
It was nice to see an old friend. Just be sure to tip the staff for whatever you drink, which I am buying, by the way.
You're too good to us, you know.
Let's switch to Winnie. Night, and the Igwe house is more of a compound. It's not necessarily in Tower Town proper. It's outside the walls of the city and kind of sits on a hill and has its it doesn't have its own walls, but it does have kind of servants working the grounds even at this late hour. Do you want to be seen, or do you want to just kind of walk around?
I kind of want to walk around. It's bothering me that I can't remember the song. I'm hoping I can get some magical vibrations from the object in the house. Maybe sense what it's about, detect it.
Yeah, all right. Let's have you roll. You're going to have to do this via song, you think.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have you roll your arcane art. That's 2d6 plus your charisma. I like the idea of you going to this place specifically to find something out magical about it. So I'm going to give you a +1 for the effort. So you're essentially going to approach the house, find a quiet spot, and sing such that information will come to you.
Right. I got a 9. All right. Just gonna go for it. Kind of throw out words and see what hits. Circlet of the future, let me hear your call. Circlet of the future, are you a circle at all? A circlet of the future, I want to know your name. The circlet of the future, I think you are the bane of my current existence because I can't remember the song that I thought I knew. Look ahead, an orb of silver, visions dread upon your crown. Under spells of crude deception, friend or foe will not heed down.
It comes to you. You realize why this is a song that's so hard to remember is because it's new. The sense you got from your conversation with Flumtuber and the fact that a great fortune has changed hands for this artifact leads you to believe that this artifact is incredibly old. But it's not. This song is less than a generation old. And as you're kind of walking the grounds and sensing the magical vibrations of this place and the things within this place, you realize the song, the Circlet of the Future, the song that references it, is a song that was commissioned by the Vurak family, the people that own it. So this isn't a song about some hundreds of years old artifact. It's a song that's less than 20 years old. And it's not a terribly memorable song.
No. In fact, it sounds very similar to another song about, what is it? The Square of the Past, I think. I think they just ripped off the melody.
The Circlet of the Future and the Square of the... There's something there. It's something like that, and it bothers you that it doesn't fully come together for you, but you know that either this artifact or at least the fame of this artifact is somewhat new.
New, and it came from the Voraks.
Chauncey, you and Drone are in the library, and you are doing a good degree of research.
Drone. The closest I got. This is, we've been over the entire ancient item section, right? The closest I got is the triangle of the present. Did you get anything else? Shapes or time related?
The triangle of the present, I see that in the book that I saw.
That sounds amazing.
I want that. Amazing. But look at this. Look at this. Look at this. The triangle of the present. Here, look. I found it in this book. No, I saw it in your book, but look at this book.
Yeah, what's the book I was reading?
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense that they make sense together because they're the same book. But look at this. Right here is called the triangle of the present. But here, take a look at this. He pulls out, it's not a book so much as a poster that he found on a shelf.
Right. You look at posters in the library, Drone?
Well, no, this is more of a diagram than a poster, but it looks really interesting, so I'm probably going to take it and hang it in my room.
Okay, mister. All right. Well, it's on your build.
You already have fun stuff in your room. I want fun stuff in my room.
Fine, Drone. Don't be jealous of my super cool book that no one can read. What's on your poster?
Look, it's the same thing, but it's not called the Triangle of the Present. It's called the Crown of Immediacy.
What?
And look, there are two other crowns. The Crown of Immediacy, the Crown of Forethought, and the Crown of Hindsight. They're all together like this. They're super old.
Well, first of all, it sounds awesome. We probably shouldn't tell anyone about it, and we should get all of them and be like time kings.
Yeah, okay. That beats going to school. I want to be a time king like you.
Okay. Well,
two of us and Flumtuber wandering around being time kings. That sounds pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, right. We need a third person for the third crown.
Yeah. Well, I figured, but if there are three of them.
Yeah, or I could wear two crowns, or we could each wear one crown and then hold one of them in between our hands. Like we don't have to hold hands, but we're each holding the crown.
Wow. Okay. All right.
So wait, what were the three crowns you saw again?
Yeah, Chauncey, let's have you roll 2d6 plus your intelligence. This is just going to kind of be a research roll to capture everything here.
All right, well, let me take a look, drone. 7, 8.
So what you can indeed confirm is that there are 3 crowns that were made as a set. The crown of forethought, the crown of hindsight, and the crown of immediacy. All 3 of them have effects that have to do with decisions. The crown of forethought allows someone to make a very wise decision or to feel as if they are well informed enough to make a good decision. The crown of hindsight allows people to understand the thought processes of those in the past. And the crown of immediacy essentially allows for greater empathy. And you know that they are very old.
This was a pretty good research day, drone. You usually don't even find one super cool artifact. This was 3.
Yeah. And if you need to learn more about them, this poster will be hanging above my bed, and you are welcome to look at it at any time.
Okay, I'll just tell my friends if we need more information, we can just go into your room. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah, that's fine. I love having visitors, even if I'm not there.
Okay, we'll leave snacks.
Oh, all right, sounds good. Also, I will see you tomorrow at the rendezvous. I assume I am invited.
Oh, yeah, Drone, you should totally come.
All right, I'll see you at noon.
Awesome.
And now, let's cut a full day later to this clearing. It is a beautiful, if slightly cold day. All of you are there. Vil, Ronaldo, Chauncey, Winnie, and you're all kind of standing amongst yourselves. Flumtuber is also there. You're all there a little early. Also, Drone is there, running through the fields, wearing what could best be described as his most lawyerly outfit.
Chauncey, can't you bring your friend? Chauncey.
I use prestidigitation to make the wind flow around Drone and make him look really cool. But guys, see?
No!
Drone knows about... Guys, we know there's... I don't know. You guys, we know about some crowns, and this might be a crown, and Drone found the poster, so... By the way, we're all invited to his room.
What?
To post, yeah, to hang out and to look at his cool poster.
I don't want to hang out in a child's
I don't want to
room.
go.
I don't want to go.
It's fun. I go there all the time. And there's, you make sure you leave stuff when you don't want to eat all the snacks. Don't leave any snacks.
Is there anything anyone wants to do before the 2 aggrieved parties arrive?
So
Yeah,
everyone. Continue.
Vil.
Go ahead, Vil.
I gotta check the ground around the back of the tower. I need somebody's help. Kid, you want to help me?
Yeah, I want to come, and as I come, I want to start drawing. I want to encircle the tower in a circle of symbols to try to let me call forth power even within it.
Okay.
Fair enough. So Chauncey and Vil, you walk over behind the tower. Chauncey, you're laying out some sigils on the ground, and eventually the 2 of you are on the other side.
Okay.
Winnie, I feel like we'll be doing a lot of the, hopefully, negotiating. And
Yep.
one family is the Varax, very, very straight-laced. The other family, a little bit of a victim complex and kind of goes for broke. So if one plays a little defensively, it's not surprising. And also, I'm sorry, your performance was much better than mine. I just wanted to get that off my chest.
You're sorry?
No,
that it
I'm
was
sorry.
much better than yours?
No, I'm sorry that I was trying to show you up, and I'm just sorry.
I appreciate that.
I
want you to know that you were being, but even though you were being, I respect you as a performer, and I think you're very talented, and I am glad to have you as a companion on this journey, and to have both been independently invited to the party.
You were invited to the party?
Yes.
I wasn't invited to the party. I wasn't. I just knew it was happening, so I just showed up.
I think your performance was karma. That's all I'm gonna say on it.
It was bad. It was bad. No, you gotta know when you fail. That's the only way you can become a better performer is when you know
Listen.
your bad show. You learn more from.
If let's say if we can put this difference beside us, then we can help these two families put their differences aside, right?
Agreed.
Right?
Yeah.
So differences are aside.
Right.
Yeah? No problems?
Right. No
Great.
problems.
Great.
Great.
If this was easy. This will be easy.
I hope. Yeah. No, they're mortal enemies. This will be a little harder, but I think we're not mortal enemies, and that's a good sign.
Not yet.
What does that mean?
Character development. You know.
Oh, okay.
Okay, kid, look. This tower, what's left of it, there's old protections that stick around. I don't know how they work, but they block out magic. Now, you can try what you might, but if there's something I know about nobles, it's that you can't trust them, and we don't know what we're going into in there. So, why don't you take this sword, just in case. No, don't make that face. I'm gonna take it back if you make that face. You seem too excited.
Sword.
What I'm telling you is that somebody might try to hurt you, and I'm giving you a sword just in case. You're looking at me like it's a fun toy, and that's
It is a fun toy.
No, it's not a fun toy. It's you don't know how to use it, and that's why it's blunted. And we're gonna work on that. But I already have one non-fighter I have to take care of, and I don't want another. So.
Wow. Hopefully, my little magic.
Hobie, I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about Winnie.
Oh, yikes. All right, hopefully my little magic circle lets me do something fun still. So, like, maybe I'll do something to help everyone. Or maybe I'll light my sword on fire. We'll have to see how this goes.
Okay,
Thanks for trusting
hold
me.
on to the sword just in case?
No,
I got it.
No, I got it. I got it. And I'm trying to grab it. I'm grabbing the hilt and also the blade.
Wait,
This
is
is
Vil
just in
handing
case.
Chauncey a sword?
This
I
is
don't
just
want to
in
look.
case.
If I look, I'm complicit.
Oh,
Don't-
I'm complicit.
Don't make. Oh.
So all of you, plus Flumtuber and Drone, walk into the ruins of the tower, and you know it's open to the noon sky. It really is just a ruin, but there is something austere about the location that that makes these proceedings seem both formal and serious. Chauncey, Winnie, Ronaldo, you're all magically attuned, and it feels almost like there's kind of cotton stuffed up your nose and in your ears. This place does have some kind of blunting effect on magic.
It's very dry in here.
Gross.
Entering the tower some minutes later is Arnold Vurak and a small contingent of hangers-on and diplomats and barristers, and
Arnold, my
Hello.
deepest greetings, and I bow incredibly deeply, as is formal.
he responds it. Ronaldo McKay, my best to your parents.
Thank you very much.
And Dola Igwe arrives by herself, dressed incredibly well, but by herself. And she is holding the circlet of the future in her hands.
Dola! Oh, it is so good to see you, and I bow the exact same way.
And she returns the bow. McKay, a pleasure as always. I will be seeing you next week at your house.
Oh, that's news to me, and it's good news to me.
So Dola steps forward first as the aggrieved party and says, I believe myself cheated by this mundane device. I purchased it with the hope that it would do what the song promised, but it does not. Arnold Vurak steps forward and says, with respect to the aggrieved party, we both tested it out in my home. I put it on, and I had a deep and clear understanding of the decisions that I was going to be making in the next couple of days. Dola Igwe put it on and had the same. She told me that very day that it was the clearest she had thought in months. It is not my fault that this circlet of the future does not work anymore.
Dola, I'm curious, what decisions did the circlet say you were going to make or illuminate for you?
Good question, Winnie.
Chauncey, put down the sword.
I'm presenting with it.
You don't need to present with it.
Well, if
That's a weapon.
it's really not much of a secret, it's the talk of all the taverns. The last season or so has been difficult in the spice trading field, and I was trying to decide where to invest my money in this upcoming season. When I was wearing the circlet that evening, I felt very, very sure that I had the right decision in my head. I felt like I could weigh the options clearly and understand the risks clearly. And when I took it off, I did not feel that way anymore, but I had a memory of that feeling. And now I can no longer even get the memory when I place it on my head.
Have you tried maybe drinking a beer?
Well,
Sometimes that
well,
helps.
well
Why would that-
recommended. They'll.
It's just sometimes if you take down a beer pretty quick, you feel kind of confident. And stop nodding, Chauncey. Stop nodding. You have no idea what I'm talking about.
I have not, but I did loan it to my uncle, who drinks copiously every day, and he wore it and did not feel any more or less confident in his pontifications than he normally did.
Well, that was a smart test you did.
Can I ask? Do you guys like think about other people and like their feelings and stuff like all very much?
No.
Cha-
Oh, were you
Not you,
asking
Bill.
us?
Are
Sorry.
you
Of course
asking
you don't,
them or
Bill.
us, Chauncey?
Yeah, all you guys here for the meeting with the, with the circle. Is that like how do you often think about what other people feel and like nice stuff like that, or is that not a thing you do much?
Arnold answers first. Well, I don't want to impugn my family's honor, nor do I want to cheat anyone. I would be incredibly hurt if that was the case. And Dola Igwe steps forward. Even in times of hardship, I do try to think of others, my family, so on. Why do you ask?
Well, sometimes for me, like understanding what someone else is going through or what they do or what they need helps me solve my problems. Maybe if that's not a thing that you're used to feeling, it feels like you're thinking really clearly when it happens. And that might be what this guy does.
Are you saying that the circlet is a placebo?
Was more like, a little, but like a placebo that helps you understand what's happening around you better.
So maybe it could make you make a good decision, but it's not like it's telling you the future. It just is a good decision based on what you're feeling around you.
Yeah, let me just be blunt about this. This might help you actually empathize, and you guys don't really seem like people who empathize with other people very much. And that probably would make you have a better decision if you actually took a second and empathize. And probably if you put this on, then if you could empathize, your decisions would be better.
Chauncey,
What?
And stop insulting nobles.
That was a really good thought. It came from research.
Drone steps forward.
Drone will tell you.
Oh, yeah, like the crown of immediacy does.
There he
Are
goes.
you okay? You
I'm
shouldn't
fine.
whack him like that. It hit you. You're bleeding.
Bill, it's not
a
on
little
fire
bit.
yet. Don't worry.
just-
This is the drone.
It's
Just
okay.
did what
I
it
have
was.
an herb for that. Let
No,
me just
Flumtuber
right
at
now.
this
He
point
just nicked my
okay.
nose.
raises
Just put it
his
a little bit.
hands. I'm sorry. The crown of immediacy? What is that?
There you go.
Thanks.
The crown of
Well,
immediacy. I know
Yeah.
that name.
do you guys all want to go to Drone's room? There's a poster that explained everything.
What?
Everyone's invited to Drone's room if we want to.
Why didn't you bring
Settle
the
this
poster?
there.
We cut to Drone's room.
This is
See?
the silliest idea we've had, and we've had lots of silly ideas, but
Where
Chauncey's onto something.
the two of the richest people in the Riverlands, three of the finest bards, two child detectives, a ranger and a duck, are studying the wall art in a dorm room.
Is that a horse bed? Is that
Yeah,
a we
and
we
who
brought
are
them-
the inglorious bastards?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I could tell you all about those.
That's fine,
and-
Drone.
No,
Maybe
it's
another
really okay.
time.
We don't- it's
the
fine.
circlet.
Look,
So
look
the
at this.
circle
Look
of
at this. Miss Igwe, hold up the circlet of the future. And she does. And it looks identical to the crown of forethought.
See?
Interesting.
Huh.
And there's 3.
Arnold Vurek looks and says, "Oh, look at that. I own that one." He points to the crown of hindsight.
Oh,
It's in my room. I didn't know that was it doesn't look like a crown. I keep it on. There's a dish resting on it in my house.
But in hindsight, you now realize what it is.
No.
I suppose that's true and ironic.
That is pretty true. That was good one, Winnie.
good one, Winnie.
Thank you.
Stop stop waving that around.
So the circlet of
The future.
is also the crown of forethought.
And Winnie, this song starts making sense to you. The song about the circlet of the future is a new song. But the song The Triumvirate Crown is one that you and Ronaldo have known for as long as you've been bards.
Ronaldo, the triumvirate crown.
The triumvirate crown. How many names does this crown have?
Too many.
The triumvirate crown.
Yeah, that's like
It's-
2 or 3 names.
It's a song about a trio of noble judges, this knightly order of noble judges that wandered the land solving disputes and weighing in on the fortunes of kingdoms.
I always interpreted it as a metaphor for fate, but
I
that's...
took it literally because I understand how songs get passed down in an
And-
oral tradition.
Okay.
And I
well,
always wondered what triumvirate meant.
I
A
pat
few
Bill
minutes.
lightly on the head.
it's
A
okay.
few minutes later, Arnold Vurek dispatches one of his servants back to the house, and she arrives again holding a dusty crown. It's stained. It looks like wine was spilled on it and dried. Arnold puts the crown on, and Dola Igwe puts her crown on. And the two of them look very knowingly at each other. It works. And Arnold looks at his, and says, "This works too."
Were you at Arnold's home when you first used the crown?
Yes, we were in his study. That's where we made the deal. And Arnold said, that's where I kept this. This was under the bowl that we had the wine out of.
They only work in the vicinity of each other. When they are close to one another, then you can use their power.
That's why they're triumvirate.
Yes.
There are
Exactly.
tears streaming down Arnold's face as he is apparently reliving the decisions he's made over the last decade of his life. Dola Igwe grabs one of Drone's spell books and removes a page and is furiously writing down the price of grain and sugar.
Whoa.
And the two of them are looking at each other.
Looks like you two are gonna have to work together. And I kind of wiggle my eyebrows at Winnie.
I suppose.
In
I can't-
confusion, I make
tried.
everyone's hair blow.
And so it was. In the dorm room of a child, did this group of amateur judges, bards, wizards, rangers, and ducks,
Well, one amateur bard.
one amateur bard, settle a dispute between two great families of Tower Town.
Guys, don't
And-
forget to leave snacks for Drone. That's all he asked for.
And in the process discovered a greater mystery. 2 of the 3 mighty crowns have been found. 2 of the 3 mighty crowns are now owned. But where lies the 3rd? We will figure that out later, because for now we will end it.
Stop swinging that around.
Put it down, Chauncey.
Chauncey.
Thank you all for joining us for another adventure with the Knights of Prospect. I will be busy all week regretting my decision to give Chauncey a sword. If you'd like to follow along, you can join us next week. Like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Knights of Prospect. And if you'd like to make a donation, you can donate to improvboston.com/donate. We are also providing perks to those who donate, so please email us to claim your donation perk. And see you next time on the Knights of Prospect.
Bye.